Okay, in order to get to the lower control arm, we are going to have to remove the thrust plate. The thrust plate is held in place by 12 16mm head bolts, and of course the equivalent on the other side, plus two little 8mm almost sheet metal screws holding the front diffuser to it. Okay, here is your lower control arm, and this rubber thing inside is the bearing. It again is held in place by two 16mm head bolts. Simply remove those and pull it, and it will slide right off of the end of your lower control arm, which is this assembly. Okay, here is a stock lower control arm bushing and housing that we've removed. Notice how it's made of rubber, and that although it's pretty cold outside, one can bend it with one's hands. Here is the aftermarket piece. Red aluminum with a whitish urethane insert. What we will be doing is hammering actually, one of these fittings over the lower control arm, and literally then this will slide right in here as such, and you will get virtually no movement. Not as good as spherical bearings, but probably 98.9% there. So, once you've removed your stock lower control and bushing housing, you must mark it so that the face of the ground control aluminum bushing housing is inserted thusly. You want this end facing frontwards. Stock, aftermarket, take it to a shop with a bearing press, or if you're lucky enough to have one at home, have them push this one out, throw it away, and insert the aluminum red insert this way into the housing. Once you get the red bushing housing inserted, or bushing casing inserted into the lower control arm housing, what you'll want to do is take just a dab, literally about the size of the white cap, of the silicone that ground control provides, and pre-lube the inside of the red bushing and the outside of the white urethane insert. And then simply push them in. It's going to be very tight, as such, until it's all the way down, thusly. Okay, now that you got the old seal off, and what I've done is you'll see two ridges here on your car when you take off the old lower control arm bearing. You'll see two ridges. I simply used a file and made them so that they're like the rest of these octagonal shape, or I should say hexagonal shape. Made it so they're the same as the rest of the hexagonal shape, smoothed it out a little bit, and then used some emery cloth just to round everything off real nice. And then I lubed it with the silicone that will be included with your bearings. Now, we are going to put on the sleeve. This is the sleeve right here. We have lubed the inside as we have lubed the outside here with the silicone. And we're going to put it on as such. I'm using either a 32mm deep socket, which fits over this real nice, or the piece that ground control will include. It's like a black extension. You simply tap. Measuring from the center of the pivot point of the subframe mount, and it is a little bit hollow so you can really get in the center. You want to have it approximately 30 millimeters when you hold the arms essentially in position. It doesn't have to be exact, but that's what you're looking for, and as you can see, we're right about 30 millimeters. Okay, now that you have the mount in place using a small dab of silicone, lube, all around the outside of it, as well as the inside of your mount, which I have already done. And with the flange side, that has a big dish in it compared to the other side. Position it over the bearing, and using the rubber side of a mallet, initiate turning it on the